Yo, what's up, everybody? It's the Good Life Podcast, the Kickback. It's your boy, Goodlife Russ. We do this every week, man. I gotta start it the same way. I want to say thank you to the people that listen. Thank you to the people that hold these conversations. Y'all keep this going. This wouldn't be a show without y'all. So always got to give y'all the praise and the blessings. Um, we're a show about mental health. We're a show about family. We're a show about education. We're a show about truth. We're a show about owning up and accountability. We're a show about speaking your voice, but more importantly, we're here about self. And when you become the best version of yourself, everyone around you benefits from it. So that's what we all about, man. It's one of my favorite episodes. I say this every time because I have to, because it's a new person on the kickback, man. This is a first time fucking guest, and this is my dog. It's probably the first person that I can probably say you're my first friend I've ever had. You know what I mean? Me and bro went to elementary together. We grew up together. We spent the night together. His mom, that's my aunt, that's family. You know what I mean? Like we've been locked in forever. You dig? And he a grown ass man, so I'm gonna let him bring himself on. You tell him who you are, where to find you, and a little bit about yourself.
Uh, what up? What up? Troi Brown, like my guy said, man, we grew up together, man. We would look Friday night, I'll be at his house. Saturday night, he'd be at mine. But yeah, born and raised Columbus, Ohio. Just taking care of family, working, doing everything I can for everybody.
Yes, sir. It's good to see you like this, man. It's good to have this
Yeah,
conversation.
for
Um,
sure.
I think we're going to shed a light on a lot for people, because it's a lot I've been wanting to say. It's a lot I also want people to understand, you know what I mean, when it comes to lifetime friendships. And
Yeah.
that's something we don't talk about enough, and I don't think we fully understand. You know what I mean? But I feel like we really grew up together. A lot of
Oh
the things
yeah.
I was dealing with at home, I was able to heal while we were kicking and playing a game, talking about our future. You know what I mean? Telling jokes, shooting the shit, like, and I think that was a huge part of my life. I know it's not easy for us to always look back and like, okay, what was the positive things that helped me get here? But once they reveal themselves, you like, damn, I needed that.
Yeah, for
So you
sure.
gotta give you your flowers, bro. Gotta give you your
I
flowers.
appre-
You're a huge
I
part of
appreciate
my story. You know what I mean? I tell everybody about you. And it's like, who is this guy? I'm like, y'all gonna see. Y'all definitely
man,
gonna
because
see.
we was really like that, man. Like
Yeah.
it was like every other weekend, almost every weekend, man. A lot of your family, I didn't grow up with any siblings,
Okay.
so growing up at being at your house with your brother, your sister, that did a lot for me because not having no siblings. I found that I had a lot of my friends had multiple siblings, even though I didn't. And I think that
Mhm.
was something that I was always searching for too in my life. So y'all helped me with that as well.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, bro. So tell me some paint me some pictures, middle school, high school. That was when we were kind of, in context, people grow up and they don't have to grow apart. Life just takes us in
Mm-hmm.
different directions. But for me, if I love somebody, I always love you. You know what I mean?
Fact,
I ain't never gonna
fact.
change. So how was it for you? What was middle school? What was high school like? Because we went to different
Oh
middle schools,
man.
different high schools.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, after fifth grade, we ended up, separating like that. Like it was cool. Uh, I didn't. I was supposed to go to Woodward, but
Okay.
living out in Devonshire, we were all like overflow. So
Mm-hmm.
we didn't get to go right there to Woodward Park. They bust us to Dominion. So
Mm.
yeah. But Dominion was cool too, man. Got a lot of fun memories. Got a lot of good memories at middle school. Ended up going to Beechcroft. I know you ended up going to Northland.
Yeah.
We was killing y'all in the sports for a little minute. Then y'all got us. So
Tables turn.
yeah. Oh man, Beechcroft. But I love Beechcroft. I miss going there. I drive past with my son sometimes, and he'll always point over there. He always act like it's the first time he saw it. And I be like, "Oh yeah, that was Daddy's school." He like, "For real?" I'm like, "Boy, I told you that like 3 times."
Oh, wait. So how was it for you as far as culture shock when it comes to friends, when it comes to feeling like you fit in or belong?
Shoot, man, for real. Was like ninth grade was like a Devonshire reunion.
Wow. Okay.
Like so many people from Devonshire from our grade ended up going to Beechcroft. Like it was wild, Troy, Jordan, Don, uh, Colin, uh, Lil
Did Fresh
Ray.
go to Beechcroft?
You say what?
Did Fresh go to Beechcroft?
Yes, fresh.
Yeah. Rest in peace to the
Like
brother, to the homie.
man, you're R.I.P. Man.
Yeah,
Like
that was tough.
oh, that was so tough. That was so tough. It was. She was crazy as at my mom's. I still have his.
Hi.
That's the birthday girl.
Hey, happy birthday.
As crazy as at my mom's, I still have his obituary and the candle from his candlelight still taped to my wall.
Mm.
Cause mom still lived where she lived. So I still got his stuff taped up there. I'm like, what you think?
I
I
think
still
that
got
he
that.
he was a part of that light and that
Yeah, he
testament. Like we
was.
was really a family, all of us. We
We
was
really
we
was.
was thick
Cause
as
wait,
thieves.
he came to Devonshire what, fourth grade, right? For third
Yeah,
or
I
fourth
think so.
grade.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I met him through Troy,
Yep.
Troy Cherry, which I still fuck with Troy. I talked to him the other
Oh
day.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
we
yeah.
it's good to see everybody doing well, having our families and being fathers. Did you see yourself being a father at that time?
I mean, definitely not at that time. But I didn't have the best relationship with my dad growing up. So
Okay.
I always knew the type of father that I wanted to be. And that was always what drove me to, be able to put, the things that I wanted and the things that I longed for into what I do as a father. So
And that's huge, man. And there's another side of it a lot of people don't see, and it's the bittersweet side. I
yeah.
don't. I can say the same. I don't. A lot of people don't know that, but I don't have the best relationship with my dad. So a lot of times parenting is bittersweet because I think to give my kids something and I do it naturally, and it's just that moment of damn, I wish I had this, and then I gotta check
hmm
myself like this is for them. This ain't about me.
hmm
You know what I mean? I'm a grown ass man now. Like this ain't
I have
about
a
me.
lot of those moments.
Yeah, yeah, and it humbles us. But I think
Mhm.
for me it shows me I'm on the right path, and I think I went through majority of things I went through to prepare me for now.
Yeah, you know what? Having almost really grown up in your house, I never knew that you and dad didn't have that relationship like that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
for me, it was seeing that he was there. You know what I mean?
mhm, yeah.
That that was almost like 90% of it for me. Because mine wasn't there in the house, so you know I didn't even pick up on that when we was kids.
Right, which I didn't either until I got older. I really didn't understand it until I lost my first son. You know what I mean? He passed away, and
Mm,
then when I was having my second son, it hit me. I looked in the mirror. I was like, I gotta heal. It's a lot of baggage I'm holding on to. It's a lot of trauma I'm
yeah,
holding on to. And for me, boy, he gets credit for absolutely for that, for being in the house. Him and my mom are still married to this day. But I think it started to show the other side of children. A child still wants to be seen.
mm,
They want to still be accepted as an individual. And
mm,
for people who have multiple kids, sometimes that's difficult. They just
yeah,
have kids. They don't see each kid as their own entity. So then I think it played into me being the youngest as well. And my brother and sister put them through hell. They put them through the ringer.
yeah.
You dig? So as I started to grow up, I realized, some like I'm not a big fact person. I believe in truth, and everyone has their truth. And two things can be true. We can feel like something's happening to us, and something else be actually happening. So for me, I think this is how things had to be for me. I require a certain amount of love, and everybody's not able to give it, and I don't force them to. I don't believe in obligation. So if we naturally click, we click. You know what I mean? If we don't, I'm not gonna find myself trying to make you like me or make you accept me. You dig? I am who I am, and I pushed for years at that. For years, family is one of the most important things to me. So I pushed for that at years, and one day I had to accept, like, it's just not that. Sometimes we have good intentions and we want someone and they just don't want us. And they don't need an explanation and a reason, an excuse. It's their truth. And the best thing we can do is start to accept each other's truth instead of be like, well, no, you're such and such, so we should have this title. You so and so we should have this dynamic. We have to build these dynamics. They don't just happen. That's why you're such a big part of my life. Like, we was playing the game and we had shared interests. We was fucking with Pokemon Stadium. We was on the Game Boy. We was on the game. You know what I mean? And it wasn't just that.
Game
It was
boy.
also girls. It was also future. It was also, you know what? I want to own a mansion one day. And we
Yeah.
need that safe space as children. So I'm starting to understand someone cannot be who you expected them to be, and that doesn't make them wrong. Or it doesn't mean that they
Mhm.
wronged you. It just means y'all want two different things. And I can live with that. You know what I mean? I've been able to grow through the trauma I've had with them. And I think every parent passes trauma down to their kids unknowingly.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I would say it made me a better father. As much as I could say I'm bitter, you know what I mean? It made me a better father. I do get kind of resentful at times when I see other people enjoying their family because I really want that. You know what I mean? I really enjoy that. But I've been blessed enough to create my own family. So
I feel it.
yeah.
I feel that, man, because it's like you said, being able to grow from that, it's things that I struggle to let go, like I have times I'll go through even a stretch where I feel like I'm letting go of it. I feel like I'm getting to this good place and then just something just boom takes me right back. And it don't even be nothing that they actually do. It's a thought in my mind that just pops up and I'm just like, damn, just fell back
Hmm.
down the tree. I just felt like I was climbing a tree, in that regard and just dropped right back down. So,
And
it's
it's
hearing,
self-inflicted.
yeah, it's hearing other people's stories and stuff like that just kind of helps me figure out what more steps I need to take to get to that level too.
Which I feel like you're taking them. You know what I mean? I haven't been as on the inside as when we were younger, but I watch how you post, talk about your son. I watch how you talk about your wife and your daughter and your family, and you get it. You got it. You've learned it. You know what I mean? You have it, and I think that's the beauty of life. Once we get it, life ain't over. We still got to go live
Yeah,
life. You
yeah,
dig? So when I see you doing that, and I see you picking up coaching, and like that is what I wanted as a child. You know what I mean? And sometimes there is a silver lining we live in and say, well, at least I had this. But is that what you really
hmm
wanted?
yeah, right. Because
You
there's
settling? Or are
more,
you
and
happy?
there's more sometimes.
Yeah.
You could have all that, and then still there's still something very important that you're missing. So I get that
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm. That's love, bro. This I feel like this is what we needed this. You know what I mean? I needed
Yeah,
this. I think about my
yeah,
guys all the time, think about my brothers all the time, and I send love because I know like this battle is tough out here for all of us. The police
yeah.
killing people, we killing each other, foreigners
Mhm.
killing us, you know what I mean? We doing each other wrong. Like it's hard for me to overlook those things, especially when it's people we know growing up and we losing. How have you been able to handle that? Like losing friends, losing homies over the years?
Uh, you know, losing friends along with losing family members, it gets to a certain point where, especially when you're always considered, or even by yourself, to be one of the strong ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, we deal with it, but the way we deal with it isn't healthy either.
Right.
You know, we hold it in because we don't want to cry about it. We don't want to get emotional about it. We're trying to be looked at in other people's eyes as a strong person, but are we actually dealing with it in a healthy way too? And I think a lot of that mixed in with family members, you know, for a long time I felt like I was numb about it. But
Mm.
I think becoming a parent, especially having my son first, being able to try to teach him how to deal with his emotions, you know, as a young man growing into a man, because I wasn't taught that myself.
Yeah.
So trying to teach him to figure out how he's feeling about something, why he's feeling about it, and not being ashamed of his feelings is something that I think has started helping me cope with a lot of the people that I've lost throughout the years.
Okay. I love that. I love that. And that's something you just touched on. I want to give a message out and a note out to the fathers, especially when you have these boys. Um it's a they care about the milestones. You know what I
Mm,
mean? I that's the premise behind me saying I don't feel like I've had that connection. I went
mm,
through losing my virginity on my own. I went through having a kid on my own. I went through marriage on my own. I went through divorce on my own. I went through losing a kid on my own. So
mm,
even if someone's there for all these moments and they miss those big moments, it's hard to feel
yeah.
like you weren't alone. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It's hard to
mm,
feel like you're not learning these things on your own. And I think that's what I took away from my childhood the most. I have to be there for those moments in my kids' lives. I have to let them know, like, I got your back. You know what I mean? When
yeah.
it's a disagreement between you and the teacher, I got to step in. I got to represent my child. And I
Mm,
want the truth. I want to know what happens, but I need them to understand I'm team kid. I got they
mm,
back. I need them to lay down tonight and know dad got me. If anybody try to
fact.
come for me or play with me, he on the front line. They gonna have to go
Yeah.
through him to get to me. And that's what I wanted. You know what I mean? And I had to grow up and forgive myself for feeling guilty for wanting that. Because sometimes when we want something so bad that we don't get it, we feel guilty. Like, why did I
Mm,
ask for it? I'm so, you know what I mean? Like, and I
mm,
had to forgive myself because that's something good to want to have. You want to have people to count on. You want to have people that's in your corner. You know what I mean? So, how do you feel like that dynamic's working within your marriage? Like, let's enter her into the equation. How did y'all
we
meet? How did this get started?
well, me and my fiance, we're technically not married, you know, the
Okay,
paperwork and all that stuff. But
yeah, y'all
no,
there, man. From what I've
yeah,
seen.
yeah, we are. We're going on 11 years. We're going on
Woo!
11 years this month.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
Black
it's
love, man.
you know, we met on Facebook. A lot of people don't, you know, a lot of people think
Okay.
about stuff like that, you know, oh, people meet on Facebook. No, we met on Facebook, and you know, she was instantly different than any girl I'd ever met, you know, and just the way she respected herself and carried herself. I hadn't seen too many like that before, and that's what, you know, felt I fell in love with, and that cooking too, you know, she that
You just
cooking
like to
too,
eat.
man. She cooked for me the first time we kicked it, man. And I was like, yep, this is it.
He said, I ain't going nowhere.
Oh, yeah, no, no, that's it. I kick my shoes off, you know, like this is where I'm at.
You cook like this
But
all the time? Bet, bet.
like
Good
all
to
the time,
know.
it's like this.
Because I do
Yeah,
be hungry.
man. And you know, I think the biggest thing with us is we try to create. I haven't always been the best at this, but creating a safe place, a safe space to share feelings, because you know, as guys, naturally we like, oh, you know, she tripping about this. Oh, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
uh, oh, she overreacting about that. But is it, you know, because not
yeah.
everything means the same to everybody. So I had to take that step back and really evaluate the space that I'm allowing her to get these feelings off, get these, because if you're going to have communication in a relationship, you got to be able to say, make that space for somebody to be able to tell you how they feel about something.
Mm-hmm.
Because just because you don't feel the same way doesn't mean it's not important.
Correct.
So, that has made it to where it's always been somewhere that I can go to when I need to get something off my chest about something. Not even between me and her. It could be what I'm dealing with outside these doors.
Mm-hmm.
When I leave out in the morning, what I deal with out there, and I come home about it. I can say that I can say these things to her and know that she's not gonna, use them on me later on in life.
Yeah, not gonna take it personal, and it's hard for people to do
Exactly.
that. It's
It
hard for
is
them to
tough.
keep themselves out of what you're saying,
Mhm.
but the love makes it easy.
It does. It really does. The love, the loyalty, just you know, you see stuff that on social media all the time, people checking phones and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
I've never had to worry about that. Just,
me
and
either.
also too though, I've I've led a life that she doesn't need to be worried about stuff like that.
Yep, there it is.
So it's,
So I have a
when
question
you,
about that. I think
yeah,
this is a good point to interject because I'm dealing with this currently. You know what I mean? And in the past, I've never believed in giving a woman reassurance, just natural reassurance. Just look, baby, I'm chilling. I ain't going on. I'm with the homies. Do you do that in your relationship? I do it now. Do you do that in your relationship? Do you give that reassurance?
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we're at a point now to where there's not even a question about it. Like, I
Right.
don't have, I don't she doesn't have to send me those texts like, oh, where you at? If I say I'm going somewhere, that's where I'm at. You
Straight
know,
up.
if I can go with the homies, and she knows that I'm going to be there because that's where I say I am. And it's just a thing of too. I don't I don't even like moving like that.
Yeah.
I don't even like moving like that, having to duck and dodge where I'm going, having to say I'm doing this to cover up that I'm doing that. Like,
Yeah. I
uh,
love that,
it's
man. That's that maturity right there.
it is because we was young,
Didn't know no better.
we was young, but with her, I knew what I had when we met,
Okay.
and you do the things that you should for what you want, and that was exactly what I did. No, nothing less. So
I love that. I was talking about this Thursday. I got a radio show I do Thursday. We was talking about marriage versus relationships. And I was speaking for myself, but I said for me, when I get in a relationship and I feel like you're the one, I'm taking marriage steps. I'm not waiting for the
mhm.
ring and the paperwork. I don't even care about all that. We
Yeah,
know
nah.
we married. We know we not going nowhere. So I feel like we should be moving like that every day.
I moved like a husband before I even proposed to her.
Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean? Like, I moved like a husband because I wanted to be viewed as that.
Yes.
I feel like you see too much of this battle of the sexes going on right now, and it's toxic,
Hmm.
and people, but people are gravitating to it, and
Scary
I don't
times,
get it.
man.
I don't get it. Like, we'll be at home, and I'll see some, or she'll see some, and she's like, "You see what they talking about?" I'm like,
Kept scrolling, baby. Kept scrolling.
I'm like, hey, whatever. They can stay over there with that.
And that's what people don't get. These single people, these relationship people without the commitment, you can still have all that fun in the relationship. Like we people watch all the time. We look at motherfuckers
Yeah,
like, you see what they doing? Like, yeah, we ain't never doing that.
never.
That ain't the we go man though. That ain't the way. at all.
never. Like, look, we'll be sitting here and on our individual phones, and I just be sitting looking, and I'm like, hey, look at this. Like, and we just be laughing, random shit pop up on our timeline, just like
I
silly.
love it. So, how was your relationship prior to the children, and now that y'all have kids together?
Oh, it was. I can honestly say I don't think anything's changed.
Nice,
It's
nice.
we had talks about stuff like that too. When we were pregnant with our first child, and I always say we were pregnant because I went with that too. I was at every appointment, even at the times where they told you to, can you step out the room, and they
Yeah.
got to ask her, are you in a safe place and all that stuff. I didn't know what was going on the first time somebody asked me that. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
Excuse
step
me.
out for what?
Right. No, I think
I
I'm gonna
get back
stay in
in.
here.
I get back in there. I'm like, babe, what was that about? She said, oh, they had to ask me if I was cool. I was like, okay. I wasn't aware that stuff had to happen, but we talked about stuff like that. What we wanted our relationship to be like. Post kids. Like post having kids, and just keeping that love there. Making sure that your kids can see you love on each other.
Mhm.
It's it's important if you want them to grow up that way too, because or
Mhm.
hope that they'll grow up that way too. I didn't, growing up in a single parent house, I didn't see that. So, but I take a lot from her because she had both of her parents. So
Mm.
I will ask her a lot, like, what was this like? Because I can't, I can't say that I can have a full opinion on it because I wasn't raised in that type of household, and she was. So she's able to help me a lot. I didn't I grew up a single child. I didn't have I have a sister, but she didn't grow up with me. So uh how that sibling dynamic goes, stuff like that, she helped a lot with that. A lot of times where I would have an opinion about something that may not always been that well informed, she'd be like, well, babe, and help me see
Yeah.
things from a different perspective.
Yeah. Which is a relationship. I feel like everything you
Mhm.
described is a relationship. This is what the game we want to get to these younger generations. You know what I mean? There's many ways that you can have a relationship, but I feel like the ways that we're discussing is how you have a healthy one. It's how that
Yeah.
relationship keeps growing and building. But also there's this dynamic of marriage people are learning now. You got to keep relearning how to love and relearning this person.
Mhm.
How's that journey been for you?
It's been good. It's been good. It's like you said, it's a constant relearning because we naturally, I don't like to say change, but you level up with age, and with level up
Yeah.
comes different types
Evolution.
of emotions, different types of necessities, and I think if you have to keep learning each other because we naturally change with stuff like that. So
Hmm.
it's something that it's a constant where I don't think that anything like that can really be truly evaluated in the moment. You know what I mean? Because I think
Yeah.
it's because you're constantly living in that moment. So
Right.
it's just a constant learning process.
That's beautiful, man. Black love. Yeah, for the one
For sure.
side, because I'm all for family. I'm all for the commitment, and I think our generation, our age, 34. I think that's a lot
Mhm.
of years that we've seen both sides of the perspective, things that we wanted to do and things that we're like, oh, I don't want to be like that. And now
Yeah.
we're the adults, so we're making the rules, but we realize we're able to empathize with them because it ain't as easy as we thought it was either. A lot of us was kids like,
Mhm.
oh, we could do that. And then you get your
Yeah.
own kids, you're like, oh shit, they don't listen. Like, wait a minute. I thought you could just snap your finger and they don't like. So it's that to me is the maturity. You know, that's what generations can benefit from each other. We all have information the others don't have, but I say this
Mhm.
constantly, and it's not in an arrogant way. I think we are that golden generation. We grew up without technology. Now we're the ones actively pushing technology, and we're just
Yeah.
different. We're
Yeah.
rebellious. We're intelligent. We're funny. We're entertaining. We can be calm. We can be lit. We
Yeah.
different, and we like to experiment. You know, I like to test things. I
Mhm.
like to. I was going to try my first drink. I was going to try to smoke weed, and I just started
Yeah.
smoking weed like 4 years ago. Still blows people's mind that knew me back in the day. Like, you smoke?
Yeah. Yeah. That shit
And
blew
I'm
my
like, yeah,
mind
it helps me
too.
with my parenting and it helps me with my peace.
It does. It does. It definitely helps with parenting for sure. I have, and shoot, and my mom helped me with this. She was like, when you come home, just ask them for 30 minutes.
Yes.
Ask them for 30 minutes. And I'm like, 30 minutes? What you mean? Because I come in the door, my kids are right there. Dad, how was
Where
your
you
day?
been?
Yeah, how was your day at work? Like my son always every day, how was your day at work, Dad? And I asked him how his day at school was. But they want to be right in your face after 8-9 hour shift. Give me that 30 minutes, and
Yeah, I'm gonna
let
get
me
to you.
unwind. Hmm. Hmm.
I love y'all's relationship, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. These sons need that fatherly love, and as
They
little
do.
boys, we get so much love from women. We need
Yeah,
love from men. We need a
yeah.
man's embrace, a man's hug, a man saying, "You know what? I'm proud of you, son." You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So let's talk about some father moments. For the people that know us, heavy Michigan fans, big Michigan fans. You
Oh,
dig?
blue.
Big
Hey,
Michigan
hey.
fan.
That's why bro made me this Good Life shirt, Amazing
Yes,
Blue.
sir.
I asked him specifically. I said, I need an Amazing Blue one. He was like, you want it on the blue on the maize or the maize on the blue? I was like, I think I need the maize on the blue.
Yeah, and that baby still look clean, look new.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what I'm
yeah. I keep
talking
it
about.
nice. Yeah.
So tell me some insight on your first time taking your son to a spring game. What
Oh,
was that like for both of y'all?
that was good. That was good. Because I mean, a lot of people don't know. Being as big a Michigan fan as I am, that was my first time up there.
Nice.
That was my first time up there. Like it was either last year or the year before. The spring game was on the same day as Hash Bash, and me and my cousin
Mm.
went up there, but we didn't know how you had to get up there to get parking. So we got there like
Mm.
an hour before the game was gonna start, and I mean parking was crazy. We ain't even go. We ain't even go. We just went to Hashback. And look, he an OSU fan. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go with you just to smoke a blunt in Michigan Stadium." He like, we ain't even go. We couldn't find nowhere to park, so we was like, "Nah, it's good." But going up there with my son, man, that was great because he wants to be a quarterback, and we
Hey.
got to sit there and watch, JJ McCarthy go through his mechanics, go through things that because I didn't play quarterback. I looked a lot of stuff up on YouTube and just applied that stuff with stuff I do with him at home, and it's really stuck. So when we got to see, JJ McCarthy and Davis Warren and the new transfer from Indiana. I can't remember his name, but got to see them going through their mechanics, and I got to tell him, I'm like, watch the feet, see what he's doing, watch how he's bringing that arm through, and it was great, man. It was great. We spent the whole day up there.
I love it, man. That's beastie. How was it for him?
He was good. He was good. He got Mozzie Smith. He got DJ
Hey.
Turner and Blake Corum signed his hat. So he
Oh, he
got
had
that
a
thing
good
put up.
day.
Yeah, he got that thing put up in the closet. He ain't touched it since
He
since
had
we
a
got back.
good day.
We got
Shout out to
pictures.
Blake, man. Blake gonna
Yeah,
have a
we
good
got
year.
pictures. Look, they had a pep rally in the beginning, and people
Okay.
were paying. people were paying to go down. It was at Chrysler Center at the where they play basketball, and
Yeah.
they people were going down on the floor to go get autographs from him, and they were paying, and we were like, we gonna catch him. We gonna catch him in the stadium. Like, and he sure did. Blake a real one, man. The game was over with, and he was probably the last one off the field, just signing autographs, taking pictures. Like Blake a real one. Blake for
Shout
Heisman.
out to bro, man. I know he got a chip this year on his shoulder. He got a lot to
Yeah,
prove, man.
Blake for Heisman.
But the crazy thing is, with players like him, that's why I love this game. You know, I love the sport. I love our team because he don't know how much he's loved just off what he did
Mhm.
up until the point. You know what I mean? So now this year, I know he gonna go crazy.
Oh, crazy,
That's
crazy. He didn't get
exciting,
to play.
man.
He didn't get to play in that SmackDown in Columbus. He didn't get to play in
Woo!
that. Right? He wanted it.
So this year he going for 3 TDs, man, on the
Oh
ground.
yeah, yeah. So
He
Fred,
going for it. Get them.
he trying to get more than Haskins did in
Yeah.
21.
I love it, man. So how did you get into Michigan? How did you become a Michigan fan?
Oh man, my big cousin played at Michigan, Marcus
Okay.
Ray, on my
Okay.
dad's side. He I was probably about 5 or 6 when he went away to school, and
Okay.
I wasn't even into college football at the time. I was such a basketball kid at that age. My mom, that's a lot of people don't know my middle name, is Jordan. My mom named me my middle name Jordan because she loved Michael Jordan.
Hey.
And so then in
Yep.
turn, my son's middle name is Anthony. I made his middle name Anthony because my favorite player is Carmelo. So
Nice.
yeah, but I grew up a basketball kid at first. You already know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
we was basketball heads. I mean, you took that much further than I did, but we was but such basketball heads. I didn't even have football team at the time. So when he went away, my mom would tell me, the game would be on, and she'd say, "Oh, that's your cousin number 29." I'm like, "What?" And just from then on, I mean, I took that. I used to in the summertime when I was a kid, my
Mm-hmm.
mom would put me in this it was a summer program on OSU campus.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to that. I was in the same program with one of Archie Griffin's sons,
Nice.
and I would see Archie Griffin like every day. And literally, like I was the only kid in this entire program with Michigan clothes on. Archie
Repping
Griffin would be
hard.
like, "Yeah." Archie Griffin would be like, "Oh, we're gonna have to get you some OSU stuff." I'm like,
I don't want that.
"Nah."
I don't want that. Yeah, to this day, I've only wore OSU when I've lost a bet. I don't rock with
Oh
them.
man,
Them ain't my people.
I've only worn it when I worked at Buckeye Corner in the mall for a good little minute.
Ah,
Yeah, that was terrible.
that's
Oh,
the one
I
in
hated that.
Polaris.
Yeah, no, the one in Easton.
Easton, okay. Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
do got one in Easton upstairs.
by Five Guys. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
I hated that shit, man. But hey, I needed that bread.
Hey,
Actually, I applied the lids because they're owned by lids. I applied the
oh,
lids, and it all goes to the same app pool. So they like pulled me, and they were like, "Oh, you want the job?" I was like, "Oh," they hired me like the same day. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it. Whatever."
I had no idea you was a Michigan fan.
None. Not until whatever game that was that Braxton Miller went out with his injury, to why he stopped playing quarterback. They were showing it on the TV while we were working, and everybody stopped. The whole store stopped and was just watching the TV. And I'm the only one in there that like chuckled a little bit. I didn't even mean to do it. Like I, I didn't even mean to do it. And it was like a broken record. People turned around like, one of my coworkers was like, "What are you laughing for?" And then my other dude was like, "He a Michigan fan, bro." They was like, "What?" Dude was like, "How he even get in here?"
Blew minds.
That was hilarious.
And that's the only thing they can remotely argue with us about. We kill them in every other sport. It's not even close. We kill them
Everything.
in football too, in my opinion, but we kill them in everything.
Oh yeah. They try to act like they don't remember that old shit. That's why I be telling them like my cousin was playing back then, so I was watching. Like we was
I
smack.
can count
My
that.
Marcus was 3-1. Marcus was 3-1 at against them. Like, come on, man. He was whooping on Saban. He was whooping on Nick Saban's ass when he was coaching Michigan State. Hey, I remember them times. They try to
Ooh,
act like they
back
don't
in the
remember.
day. But that's when we was raw.
Yeah. Oh
That's when
yeah.
we was raw. We went through a
Oh
couple
yeah.
coaches changes. We went through a couple, you know what I mean, core foundation changes.
hmm
But prior to that,
hmm
we was one of the most feared teams in college football.
Oh yeah, man. They got lucky. They had good fortune when it came to their coaching hires. We had to go through Hoke and Rich Wire. That was
The dark ages.
I hate even thinking about that shit
And we
sometimes. Like
had
I just
such
want to
good
erase.
players during that time too. That's what used
Yeah,
to
we
make me
did.
mad.
We did. He tried to. It was Rich Rod, man, bringing that. He was trying to bring that West Coast game, that spread shit. And I mean, we had the quarterback to run it, but what else? Super small running backs. Like people
Yeah.
still talk about when Jadeveon Clowney smacked Vincent Smith. I'm like, just don't bring that up.
I was watching that live, man. And then I
Oh,
think it was after a missed call or a bad call for the
oh,
refs, and then they got it back. I was like, ah.
oh, that was brutal,
But I
brutal.
think we've been getting back to our roots, man. We're one of the oldest colleges. We're a
Yep,
traditional ground and pound, wear you out. Our defense is probably gonna win the game type team. But
yep,
I like that our offense is becoming more explosive.
yeah, I do
Especially as the
too.
Big Ten is becoming faster and more. They trying to put points on the board.
Yeah, yeah, gotta adapt, man,
Yeah.
because they putting up points. Like I watched that whole game when OSU put up 62 on us, bro. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that burned me up. But
Yeah.
hey,
We
I
needed
watched
that.
that
We
whole
needed that
game.
humbling.
Yeah,
But we needed also, I say basketball and football. We needed Harborough and Juan Howard, man. We had to
yeah,
stop playing with our school like we some small ass school. We need
yeah,
major NFL coaches,
yeah,
NBA coaches.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
that. We send too many players to the league.
We do. We do. Ohio fans, they try to act like we don't for real. Like,
And we
shoot,
send hella players to the league.
we just had the most in the Big Ten go in this year's draft.
Yeah.
We had like 9 draftees, and I think now it's up to 3 undrafted free agents. So yeah, I think they only had like 6.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we're gonna smack them again this year. I already see it
Yeah,
happening.
it's on. It's
Yeah.
on. They
And
should have
rest up,
left.
man, to the suck eyes to that quarterback. That was
Mm-hmm.
wicked. Did you see that story?
What? Oh, who
Uh,
was CJ Stroud?
yeah.
Nah, what about?
One of them got killed recently. I think last year.
Oh, Dwayne Haskins. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Haskins.
R.I.P.
Yep, yep.
R.I.P. Dwayne Haskins, man. That there's more coming out with that story too, because it was weird at first. They were saying he was walking down the side of the freeway, and then they said he was drunk or something, and then something happened with his car. But I'm like, bro, got too much money to just be walking down the side of the freeway. Like,
And it's
yeah,
usually the spouse, man. It was some weird stuff going on with his woman. That's why I was
mm,
like, we need to know what happened, man. I know,
yeah,
and this is where we always have to humble Ohio State fans. Like this is a sport. I
yeah.
care about y'all as people. I don't hate you as a
Nice.
person. I just when that whistle go and we on the
Yeah,
field, it's no
yeah,
love.
well, yeah.
After the game, you're a human being. I don't want that to happen to you.
Yeah, that was hard hearing about that,
It
and
was.
being so young. I think his birthday just passed a few days ago.
Bro was in his 20s.
20. Yeah, I think he just turned 20. He would have just turned 26. I think that post said.
Yeah,
I remember.
that's scary, man. Black man, y'all protect yourselves. You know what I mean? Y'all look out for
Yeah,
yourselves.
for
That's
sure.
very scary. So, what are you today in your life? What are some of your visions, some of your goals? And we're gonna wrap up on that. I'm gonna let you leave them with some leaving words, some beautiful words for them. But what are your visions for yourself? How do you see the rest of your life going? What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your family?
Here pretty soon, man. I've been procrastinating on it so much, but only because I got a vision of how I wanted to look and things like that. But I want to start my own podcast here soon for sports, a little
Let's
sports
go.
podcast, sports talk. I've been talking about it for the last couple years, and I mean, I've only actually been vocalizing it for the last, maybe year and a half, somewhat. So just trying to protect that energy, trying to protect that drive that I got into it. I got, I got big vision for it, but I think that's what's stopping me because I wanted to look a certain way as soon as I started, whereas,
Mm,
you know, like I battle with myself. Like, should I just get my feet wet and just jump in it? Like start
yeah,
this thing off on my phone. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I wanna do that within the next year or two. Start my channel and really take off with that because I love talking sports. I'm always talking about sports. Like it's crazy how much I talk about sports. Like and not having had played as much as the next, but it's just sports has always been a passion for me. So
Hmm.
who knows where this coaching stuff might go. I might try to do something with that, but for real, definitely starting my podcast here soon.
That's gonna go amazing, bro. You already know. I told you, I'm down as a guest. Let me
Oh
know.
yeah,
I'll
for
be there.
sure. For sure. I'm
I
definitely
like
gonna
what.
holler
So,
at
how do
you.
you feel about what Cameron and Mace is doing? You looking at that standpoint, or you
I have
looking more traditional?
more traditional. A lot of people don't know I'm a huge Colin Cowherd fan. Like
Okay, okay.
I love his show,
He's
I
an
love his
acquired
show.
taste. I had to warm up
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, he's got, it's the way I think it's the way he comes off, you know. I
Yeah,
think I
he's
think
a
a lot of
radical, and that's not an issue. But you gotta again, you gotta be looking for something like that to
yeah.
resonate with you, or it's gonna rub you the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm more so wanting to do it, kind of that style,
Okay, okay.
how as more like a on camera radio type, like a
Yeah,
Rich Eason, something like that. And then too, have people come on the show and do stuff like this with a stream, just have guests and stuff like that. It's I got the vision for it, how I want it to look, and that's a lot of that is what's stopped me because at first I'm like, oh, I'm trying to get it to look just like his show, and Colin established, like, so
yeah,
I couldn't keep comparing my vision to what something like that already looks like when that's been established for years, so I kind of
yeah.
taken a step back and figuring out a more logical trajectory point to step into that. So
Okay, okay. That's gonna be dope, bro. That's gonna be
yeah,
dope. I'm
I can't
excited.
wait. I've been excited about it for a minute, and I got good support. I got good supporters. I think my last birthday, my dudes got me this sick microphone setup. People just I got people around me that's willing to invest in what I want to do, and that's good too because it gives me good support and it keeps me rounded because it's always with your podcast. I was just talking to my fiance about your stuff, and she was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, well, you gotta holler at him. Pick his brain. See, he give you some tips and tricks about how to do your start your podcast up and." So it's always I got people around me tossing ideas at me, supporting me. So it's good to have.
Yes, man. That's gonna make it that much stronger. That's great to hear, bro. I've enjoyed this whole conversation. You know what I mean?
Me
I
too.
truly, I'd be remiss to say I love you like a brother because you my brother. You always gonna be my brother.
Yeah,
You know what I
always.
mean? I love you as a human being, bro. As a father, as a black man, as a friend. You know what I mean? You've been an instrumental part of my life, and I don't think that's gonna change anytime soon. I can see our kids doing things together in the future. You know what I mean?
For
So
sure.
I definitely want to appreciate you for that, man.
Man, you know what? your son hopped in one of my Fortnite games one time, and we sitting there talking, and he was like, "How you know my dad?" I was like, "Boy, yeah, this too long of a story for me to tell you on this microphone, man."
Listen, he'll be 13 in July, so he getting up there.
Yeah, that's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, man,
Is
he's
he
a
getting
good
into
kid.
basketball and all that?
Man, he's done everything. We back into
Yeah,
basketball now. I've coached him when he was in
yeah.
fifth grade. He's done football, track, a lot of things. Him and his mom decided on. So I threw
Mhm.
my little tidbits out there. Like I think he'd be a cold baseball player, bro. I think he'd
Man,
be cold. I'm trying to push him towards it.
yeah. My
He got
son,
the
my
build.
son, my son getting into baseball too. Like he got me into it. My first time going to a Clipper game was with him. I won
Okay.
some tickets at work, and we went to the game. And shoot, by that at that time, I couldn't even tell you how to read a baseball scoreboard. I had to look it up on. I had to Google that shit while we was at the game. Because Babe was over there like, What's that say
What's
over there? How you
age?
read that? I'm like, I don't know. Let me look it up real quick. And so I'm reading it off. I'm like, all right, that right there is this. But he's talking about now because this will be his first year playing basketball and football in the same year,
Okay.
and
Okay.
he's already talking about how he could try to fit baseball in because he's a big baseball head too.
Man, that's a good future for our kids. It's not hard on the body. You can do it into your 40s and they get paid.
Mhm.
Paid,
Hey,
paid,
yeah,
paid. Even they minors leagues get paid. They get
they
paid.
do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
So
do.
yeah, that's them the two I'm pushing for him now. Soccer, which he might. I think soccer is one of those things. If you're in it when you're young, because as you get older, your mind just see them running around, and you're like, I ain't about to be
Mhm.
running around the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, but when you introduce it young, so I'm gonna try to slip it in there because I just like you doing something new, doing something different. That's how
Yeah.
he is. You know what I mean? He loves planets, he loves space. So I'm like, that's great to know what you like, but try new things because there's things out there that
Mhm.
you might keep yourself from experiencing that you might love. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So at least when you do it, you like, okay, I don't care about that, or I'm gonna put more into it. You know where you're
Yeah.
going. You know what I mean? And I would say my biggest bonus parenting is I've been learning too. Like you said,
Yeah.
I'll be having to look shit up too. They'll say some shit. I'm like, I don't know. Let me check.
Bro, my son did that one time. Had one of his little toys. He loved cars, and you know, little cranes and stuff like that, little
Yeah.
machinery he loves. So he had one, and I looked at it and I'm asking him what it is, and he said, "Daddy, it's an excavator." And at that point, I swear to God, I never knew that was called an excavator. So I looked at it, I'm like, I don't know, son. I don't think that's what it's called. I Google excavator, and that shit was right, bro. And I told him, I said, son, you right. And he gave me this look like, nigga, I know I'm right.
I knew. Why did you have a faith? I knew.
He's like, I knew you the one that had to look it up. I'm like, damn, you right, yeah.
Start taking my word for these things.
Yeah,
You're
right.
gonna have
My
to
bad,
start paying
son.
me for this, Randy.
My bad, son. Shit.
You smart. All right, cool.
Yeah, I got you got it.
But then kids step in, they always take it too far. All right, let me drive the car. All right, slow down now. You don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
everything.
Whoa.
You know your machinery. That's it.
My son, right now, his biggest thing he want to do right now, he want to go to the range with me.
I should.
He want to go to the range with me, and I told him, you gonna at least wait till you 10. Well, you gonna at least wait till you 10. He 9 now, so he got another year. I'll
Okay.
take him.
He on his way.
Yeah, I'll
He on
take
his
him.
way, and he got good guidance.
Yeah, for sure. That's I think that's especially in the times that we living in. You know, so much gun violence going on right now. I feel like when you already set a certain standard for what you know the boundaries you set in your house. I feel like being able to teach him about that type of stuff will benefit him when he gets older. because he'll take it more seriously, than the average kid would, just toting a
Mm-hmm.
gun. They like, oh, playing with he already gonna know what to do. So it's
Yeah.
I feel like that the the educational part about it is what'll be better for him, especially during the
Yeah.
times that we're living in.
And to me, I think that's the point. The education is not so we can use these things more, it's so we're mindful of how we're using them, but also so we don't have that fear. Because that fear is how we misuse things. It's not even
Yeah,
always the fundamentals. Sometimes it's we too afraid. And we don't all see somebody just drop a gun or something like, no,
and they
that's
just
the wrong thing to do. Hold it firm. Don't just
yeah.
drop it.
Well, now when a
Smack it
homie
and
just
burn
shot
it.
us up in the foot,
Yeah,
yeah.
listen, Tory
Mhm.
Lane's on accident. Come on now.
Yeah.
So now that we're learning and we're becoming more responsible, I feel like these kids are getting so much game. They're soaking up so much they don't even realize.
Yeah.
Until they get older. So
Mhm.
I shout out to all the black dads. I think we're doing an excellent job. I don't pay attention to the media and what society's trying to paint a picture about us. I think we're doing great.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't pay attention to none of that.
Yeah. And it ain't for us, man. It's for them. You dig?
Mhm.
So this has been wonderful, brother. You want to leave them with some positive words, some inspiration, anything you want to leave the people with?
Let me see. Stop all that bullshit y'all be doing on social media, man. It's like, nah.
You ain't wrong.
Uh, man, yeah. I mean, I ain't wrong, but I'm just saying, try to be positive, man. Just spread more love, man. Spread more love. It's too much division right now,
Yeah,
on so many different levels, and especially in our own community, man. Like all
yeah,
that toxic stuff, man. That shit may be funny for the time being, but that shit ain't cool because somebody watching it taking that shit super serious,
yeah,
and they're replicating it, and that's not where it's at, man. Love each other, stick with each other, and I think that's about it there for real.
Shit, it was well said, man. That wraps up everything. You did.
Appreciate it.
I like to give you my last flowers, bro. My last congratulations. Appreciate you from sitting down with me. You know what I mean?
Thank you
It's been love, man. This relationship I see you having the rest of my life. So
for
I look
sure, man.
forward
We
to seeing what you do
locked
next.
in. We locked in, bro.
Yes, sir. Always. I love you, my guy. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Love you too, bro.
All right, boy. Be easy.
You too.
All right, y'all. We out.